All right, we're gonna go ahead and get into this, and before we do, these are the impact news drivers that we have for the week. So we have FOMC, we have CPI, as well. So just high impact news drivers all week. ICT said he's not even gonna be trading, but it looks like on his Twitter he still has been tape reading and like suggesting levels to study and look at. Here's what I'm looking at in my charts. We're on the Nasdaq E-mini futures daily chart. And so, as far as marking levels that haven't been retested, sorry, something he mentioned to do in the first month of the 2016 private or core mentorship. So, anyways, I marked this low and this high as those both haven't been retested. Now, I also noticed that these highs here are very relative and very clean, okay? And additionally, these lows that have formed here, even though it has like tested this low, it has created relative equal lows, and overall, we haven't seen price continue to go lower than that. It kind of has rejected, and as for right now, that's why this level's marked. These highs back here, so there's liquidity in the form of buy stops. We also have this SIBI and this SIBI, which we'll go through on the 4-hour time frame. These objectives are sell side imbalance, buy side inefficiency, so we can expect price to trade to these levels. And if it trades here, then we can also expect it to go for those buy stops. Now I won't be predicting, highs or lows. As high as it will go, or low as it's, going to go. But in terms of looking at, where we are in price, we have to understand after a consolidation, we will see an expansion. That's what we're seeing now. And with this impulse leg, this is what I would consider a low resistance liquidity run. All right. That being said as well, we're going to mark this high from this low. Okay. So what we can see in this price leg, from what I have outlined, from this high to this low, we just traded into optimal trade entry, and so that would mean that it's in a discount. What that also means is smart money or large institutions have accumulated their long positions here and are going to be looking to sell them to people who will buy them at a high price. So there's buy stops here, and we can see that not only is it going for these, for this SIBI, but we also have these traders who sold here, which is the perfect counterpart to smart money or large institutions who want to sell their positions at a high price. All right. So that being said, we'll go down to the 4-hour time frame and look at those levels more refined. I'm going to take off the fib. Okay. And here we go. So this large movement downwards with no oppositional movement. Okay. We have that. It's consolidation, continued expansion. All right. Then we have these relative equal highs here, these lows here. This was the consolidation. So now we're seeing an expansion, because as we know, the only thing that can come after a consolidation is an expansion. I'll also look at something here in just a moment. We'll go back to the higher time frame and I'll talk about it. But anyways, in terms of looking where is price going to go? Okay, we just moved into optimal trade entry in a discount, so we'd rightfully be expecting price to move into a premium. Right now, this was the first expected draw in liquidity. This is the second one because of this inefficiently traded delivery. So, it's guaranteed that price is going to go here. And then if, it goes here or it goes above the 50%, why would it not go for these buy stops? Now, what I wouldn't want to see, we may even see price, continue for this high. I would not like to see this high taken out, because we do have many objectives on the daily time frame. I'll go over this. We have this here, but we have this run right here. So ultimately, I'd expect these to be traded to, but we'll see if price wants to continue going for these highs eventually. It doesn't really matter as for now. We're just kind of focused on where we're at in that range, and for now, we know we're definitely expecting buy opportunities and higher prices overall. Going down to the 1 hour, we can also frame the weekly range, and I'll do this. I'll go through it very briefly on the lower time frame chart. But for here, the hourly time frame is another bellwether time frame for day traders and short-term traders as well. And so we can look like where the weekly high and low formed and what time. All right. So this is the low of last week. Wednesday's low was created at 2 a.m. All right, or the open after midnight. Okay. It was created at 2 a.m. and the high was then created on Friday. Now, keep in mind this is also NFP, so this, easily brushed above all these highs and these highs that have previously supported price. So we're easily able to get back up there. We did have this large move, so we have to keep in mind that that will be a busy, which will be retraded to, because that's a sell side inefficiency eventually. But anyways, so that's what we noticed. Friday's created the high, all right, in the afternoon, and the low is created on Wednesday. It's the same thing for the week before, and let's also bring up the fact that we are in a consolidation. So last Wednesday, the low was created. It was later in the day, so around like 1 o'clock. Let's see. Yeah, the low was created at 1 o'clock, and then afterwards, we saw price continue to trade higher. Now, funny enough, both of these mohawked into this low. It's still a objective though, because it's all relative, even though these tapped here and here, most likely to take sell side liquidity from the market and to give these large institutions an opportunity again to go long right below that low, because a lot of people would see this and then expect a continuation, or in the retail mindset, that's what people expect. But anyways, I digress. That's what we're seeing here, okay? And it's going to be essentially the same thing on here, so I'm going to keep it brief. But oh yeah, hold on, let me do one more thing. Okay, another thing we want to focus on, this most recent low to the left, okay, higher low, all right, higher low, higher low. So what we have here is a swing low, and then we see that continue for the relative equal highs, and we're seeing it trade within this range. This is still also a consolidation range on the daily time frame, so I'm not like too crazy on like when we get up here or when we fill in this range. Even when we fill in this range, it's going to be a high resistance liquidity run. I don't know if it would be going here. I don't know where it would be going. So for now, I'd only be looking for opportunities, to buy until that point. All right. So anyways, here we go now. We're on the daily time frame. All right. And so right now, just looking for untested highs and lows. We have this one here. We have this one here. Let's measure this impulse leg from this high, this low. Okay. So we can see that we are currently in a discount. This would be optimal trade entry. And we'll see if price wants to revisit that with this displacement leg, but for now we'd be looking for buy opportunities. Now if we see a retracement into this leg, then to be honest, I was gonna say then I'd be looking. Well, I'm not gonna finish that thought because I changed my mind actually. But back to the point. This low, this high, untested high and low. This high here, untested as well. Okay, we'll measure this out as well. Okay, so this would be right here. This would be within this SIBI. That's also optimal trade entry. Now, if we go above optimal trade entry, like it's possible, like the wicks can do the damage here and just tap up. But we've kind of seen that already with these highs, and then this kind of trading above that. So we'll really see on that. either way, we can anticipate price to trade up here and within these levels, and I'm gonna leave it at that. Pretty much the same thing, right? We have this high, untested high. These are noted as too clean because they are too clean of highs. These lows back here are too clean as well. Just these very clean lows. All right. And this is the 9-month view. All right, so here on the 4-hour, then now we can look for this, like we have these very clean lows here that were taken out. All right, after those lows were taken out here, see price then, moving for these very clean highs. All right, and in terms of like objectives, we know that price is going to draw to things like this. Okay, it's inefficiently delivered, so this is fair value for market makers. All right. Additionally, it's fair value up here because they love to sell their positions that they acquired down here or accumulated down here. They love to sell those to people who have their stops right here. All right, and that would be in the form of buy stops. Okay, so keep in mind people have their stops here, right? They're saying, oh yeah, price would go lower and lower. Let me put my stop right here. Then it's gonna get tapped, and smart money who bought down here is going to sell their positions to everyone here, or everyone who had their positions here. And that's how liquidity is engineered. So now we'll go down, and it's essentially the same thing here. Calculating the weekly range, right? Low created on Wednesday in this consolidation range, high created on Friday. Same thing here, low created on Wednesday. Okay, high created on Friday. All right, unless you consider this range right here. I don't know if that's technically selling Sundays. I don't know if I count that, but anyways, that's all for the high time frames. I'm gonna go ahead now and go down to the lower time frame. All right. So we're back on the NASDAQ, all right, and what we're looking at here is the daily open and close, okay? So this is last Wednesday. This Wednesday's, that low of the week was created, and here's the high, all right? This created a relative equal high on Thursday, and funny enough, a friend of mine had caught this sell, and I asked him, I said, why were you not expecting it to go up here? And he said that his experience, or the reason why he didn't expect it to go there. I do want to first mention this was in optimal trade entry as well. So that's just something to mention within this leg. This is optimal trade entry. But additionally, he was expecting these levels of liquidity to remain intact for Friday, which was NFP. All right, and with these as well. And we can see he wasn't wrong. And on NFP, trade above those. Now, I was just simply looking at that in the context of, trying to understand why he took that trade. And for the most part, I could understand it. Like, I was looking at this, knowing that it's an optimal trade entry. All right, I see this low, okay, right here. And then it boom, right, displacement. So this energetic movement. And then it returns to the order block. And then you see that continuation lower, all right? And that is essentially the 2022 model as well. So displacement below an old low. This is also slightly above, like very, very slightly above this high as well. But these are still relative like highs to each other. And so anyways, boom, yeah, those highs created. See it trade back into this range, or this initial expansion range. Okay, and then the next day, it was NFP. Those lows get taken out, but these clean lows here and here still remain intact. And these are the ones that I was framing. These lows right here are the ones I was framing on the daily time frame, saying it was just barely tapped. So anyways, we see a retracement into this impulse leg, and let's actually measure that out real quick. We'll measure that low to this high. Okay. All right. So this traded back to a discount. And actually, let's go ahead and I'll just measure from the high to the low. Do it like that. So this moved back down here. We traded just to optimal trade entry within that last impulse leg. And we did trade below fair value or equilibrium. All right, so just barely tapped and then continued in the other direction. And we just have to keep in mind as well, or one thing I learned is when we're in a discount like this or optimal trade entry, we wouldn't want to see it stay around for long. So it makes sense why when it came down here on the 15-minute time frame, then we saw that reaction afterwards. And this was on Thursday. So afterwards, NFP takes out the low created Thursday, takes out the relative equal highs for the week, and then we see it continue on. All right. I'm not going to go down to these time frames just yet. I might just in a minute. Okay. But the first thing I want to do is I want to also go through this on ES. So, 15 minutes. All right. So it's the same concept on both of these. Okay. We're just looking at essentially the daily lows and highs. Oh yeah. Let me take this off as well. Working these dailies, lows, and highs and just focusing on it. Okay. Here we go. This low is created. It's a higher low. Here, this relative equal high. Okay. Boom. Sell side liquidity. These sell stops taken. All right. We have the stop rate, and that propels price higher. Okay. That's again is NFP, so I'm not so concerned about this. And this very large, busy. All right. This energetic movement. It was retraded here after this gap. Okay. And then afterwards, price went for this high. We have this consolidation, this energetic move, and then this consolidation again. Ultimately, what we're seeing is for pretty much every day of the week, other than NFP, we are seeing price create a higher low regardless. So we're seeing price move higher. For the highs, per se, we see liquidity being created above these in the form of relative equal highs, just a normal high. So people who, sold up here, that's buy stops. Same thing here, right? Buy stops. I mean, this is obviously accumulation as well. This very, side, like consolidation motion. Then we have the expansion, all right? And let's go ahead and I'm just going to put something here for tomorrow. So I know I'm not really supposed to be forecasting price, all right? But I am anticipating higher prices, all right? And what I would like to see tomorrow, okay, is I want to see us return to this order block before the expansion move. And after we return to that, we'll see. This was the consolidation. This was an expansion. But we'll see what it does. So we're going to do that. And now there's going to be another kind of back testing that we're going to do. All right. That's really all I have to say about the 15-minute time frame. Just looking at those highs and lows. And that's really what I'm doing for back testing right now. That and measuring like high to low, but I'm mainly focusing on levels where price showed a quick reaction from that specific level. Where we see like these large movements, and I'm looking for these like relative equal highs, BISI, SIBI, these large impulse movements with delivery not offered on the oppositional side. So essentially one-sided trading, like right here, because those levels will be retraded to eventually as well. And through this, I'm deepening my understanding of narrative, the daily bias, and even in explaining this, my understanding is greater. And that's really the reason I record these videos. I'm not trying to be famous or anything. I need to remember that this is easier for me. It's easier for me to recall this information to be doing it here and Anyways, yeah, I'm gonna keep this episode at that, um, because it's been a few days since I uploaded a video. But I'm also gonna upload another backtesting video of, looking for those setups and pretty much acting like it would happen to gain that pseudoscience. So we'll leave it at that.